It's definitely like almost dinner time on Sunday, but I made breakfast crazy thing. That's what I'm having. Gonna talk to whoever feels like hanging out. Look at, I don't know, guitar fetish, warm eye. Always got things we could be doing. Doing it up, doing it up, doing it up, yeah. Ooh. We got ourselves some copyright free metalicious goodness in the background. Ton of avocados, ton of tomatoes. It's not exactly anti-inflammatory, but pretty freaking awesome. It has the juice. Like that part. You just see me pop up, being a crazy head. I don't know. Which there's no sense in not getting on and just saying hi. If I got many people in here, I was just gonna like look at Warmoth and guitar fetish, just be silly, eat and shop and talk to people. I don't know, we might work on something. We might not, it don't even matter. Who cares? It's Sunday. Sunday. Yeah, I started off with a couple of little small Nathan's Franks and cut them up, put them in the pan to start with, and I usually get one side pretty seared, and by that time I'm ready to add butter to the pan, because I'm going to add onions and jalapenos. Always the jalapenos after the onions, so if they are on a bed, they don't do that jalapeno smoke thing. Oh, my wife's like, oh, you're killing me. What are you cooking, napalm? And then I'll after I get the onions added and the jalapenos, and sometimes I'll put the lid on. I'll let those get kind of going. Oh yeah, the hot dogs get flipped to the other side so that they get seared on both sides. But yeah, then the onions and stuff are doing their thing. You just think it's a little bit of Cavender's seasoning. It's supposed to be Greek seasoning. It's just really yummy, good seasoning. It's not too much salt. Yeah, then I'll take the spoon I'm cooking with, like wood spoon or plastic spoon, and I'll scoop a place and crack an egg and give it its own place, let that one start to get going, move another place, add another egg. Basically I'll do 2 hot dogs, 3 eggs, and a whole bunch of all this stuff. Avocados and tomatoes. And then, because there's so many tomatoes, I just did a swirl of ranch on top. It was like, breakfast salad. Who knows what to call it. It's not hard, and it's really freaking yummy. How can you go wrong, man? It has the juice. Let me go down and look at the dashboard. If I can get the mouse in the right place. Yeah, man, it's just you. Are you working on stuff again, or are you on the move? I know you were gonna try to get back on when you got clear again. Yeah, man. You ready to? Oh yeah, nice. Yeah, man. If you want to put the Jaybird show out there, you can go right back. You can go right back to like putting it out there. Of course, sometimes we're the only ones in either of our streams. It just depends. Sometimes I'll do this and I'll get 20, 30 people. And Sundays are sort of like that too. Sometimes you get nobody, sometimes you get everybody. And of course, Orbeez got most people checking out and seeing what he's doing. I don't know if he's winding around. I actually had considered. I've been streaming with Dell just because I'm playing those compositions and I want to be able to send him my ideas. And he's like, oh, this is good. I use this. This is great. And so I did that again last night. I was thinking about doing that with Orbeez because I've got a bunch of people that follow me. Oh, thank you. Sorry about the ads. Back to my thought. Anyway, I thought about streaming over Orbeez because I have a bunch of followers. Hey, listen, good to see you. Yeah. Just being crazy. Made some food. Certainly not on any kind of schedule today. Avocados. That's eggs and Nathan's hot dogs. Grilled onions, jalapenos. It's just crazy. It's like, yeah, it's pretty good. I'm on coffee number 2. Yeah, man. Whoever felt like saying hi, and I love looking at people's food. It's cool with these cameras. These have really good kind of color separation and stuff. And it's just a USB camera. So this one's a Logitech Pro Stream. And that one over there is the C920. I'm using that microphone right now. And I'm a mumblesmith, so I apologize if I sound like a mumblesmith. I try not to. It's almost become my brand. The mumblesmith. Yeah, man. Alright, good. Yeah, I sometimes wish the kitchen, well, I mean, it's over there and behind it's the next room over. I kind of wish I was right next to it, so I could just kind of roll the computer over on cameras and do like cooking streams sometimes. Well, I mean, you could just do it on your phone, but it'd be nice to have the big chat and everything. Yeah, man, this is not bad, I'll tell you. I'll say one thing, Nathan's hot dogs do not have to be made into hot dogs. They're so darn tasty that if you cook them sliced in serum on both sides, I swear you can make nachos with them. You can make tacos. They're really good in breakfast tacos. And then they're no longer hot dog shaped. There's kind of a little baby sausages that way. Pretty great, man. Because that's sort of what approach I'm taking. Little baby sausages. We have a ton of avocados right now, so I have a couple of avocados on here. Somehow or another, when we ordered groceries and they just kind of ended up getting doubled. We were looking at 2 sizes and the other one didn't get canceled. bunch of avocados. They're good, hey man. In good shape. Some of them are a little tough at first. What's that? Yeah, man. There's a couple of you guys in here. Yeah, trip up in the pita. Yeah, especially the texture of pita bread. It's always really good with whatever sauce you're kind of in the mood for. Always good with veggies. Kind of holds everything together. Depends on the brand, how much fat is used in the recipe making them. But yeah, they're really good. Sometimes I'll make something like this at night so that I don't have to deal with so much carbohydrates. I mean, I'm 54, my blood sugar's all messed up, so I'll take on water like crazy. But yeah, I've put away my share of tacos and carbohydrates and nachos or whatever. That's my favorite toast, is like sourdough toast. Yeah, man. Breakfast salad. I found a kind of metal no copyright mix and I was like, you know what? That sounds good in the background. So far it's not a big screamo mix or anything, it's just most of the instrumental stuff, which is great. No gurgles and growls over Brunch Fist, which is just fine too, but not particularly my jam. I have to drink a lot of water. I'm like 731. Sourdough is pretty fire, man. Oh man, sourdough with the best grilled cheese. Holy smokes! I use way too much butter, but I use actual goat butter, which is it's less of a, it's a lot of fat, but it's a medium chain triglyceride. For me, I have an inner lipid, basically fat in parts of my cells, which causes my blood sugar to stay a little high. It just doesn't hit my system the same, so it definitely I'll take it on as fat, but it's way less cloggy in the arteries. I think it tastes great because it's really funky tasting. I love stinky cheese and crazy tasting stuff. Typical dirty boy. Just a ornery stinky boy. You know how it is. Anyway, it's fun. Yeah, man. Gosh, one day just steps right into the next, and man, once we ever get any bad habits established, whew, it's hard to shake. Oh, that's a cool emote. I like that. That's awesome. Where did you get that emote? That is so awesome. Let's see if any of mine, if I can see what it says. That's so awesome. Headbanging a mane of red hair is like it's a huge flex for sure, man. It's awesome. Hey, how is the mix of the volume of the music versus my muttering nonsense? I never know. The only way I can get kind of a good idea is if I do like a quick recording of where I have it. Okay, cool. That's good. But yeah, I can do like a quick start recording and then go look at find it in the desktop and play it and be like, okay, that'll work. When it's relatively what's heard on the other end. Which stream did you find me in? I'm kind of like Zeppelin Man Gaming. I do a lot of networking because I just find I find the community interesting. I like seeing everybody's style. Everybody's got their own take, and then you'll just find really nice people. I guess that's more than anything what I look for. Just try to find sweet people. That's a goal. I'm gonna get a notepad. That's an excellent goal. Like start a list. Start a list of the sweet people. Because I mean, who else would you want to support more than people that are just super nice and supportive? That's exactly who you want to support. Necrocatic Games is in that category. Zeppelin Man. I can't remember if two P's or not. I think it is. Well, Zeppelin Man Gaming. Super sweet. I think it was looks like though other guitarists and musicians, it was a nice way of getting, I do that, man. My fingers go to the wrong letter. Nice way of getting to know people I also had Bill Gamer. Cool. Grammar and these keyboards and these phones and stuff. Like sometimes I like chatting on my phone because you have the emotes in the chat list, but you also have your emojis. So sometimes you can just quickly put sentiments, just like doop doop doop. Sort of like the emotes. That crazy the head banging thing that says more than anything. It's just like, that's awesome. I mean, you want to go pay 17 cents a day just to that person for their emote. It's like, it's worth it. Score. It's excellent. Another one recently that was super sweet is Crystal. Tokyo, but it's like it's a 0 at the end. Crystal Tokyo is super duper sweet. Just leaves you feeling good. You know how it is. You just spend time with certain people, and they just make you just go away feeling better than you did showing up. That's always a good thing. Gosh, man, that's choices. We have the choices to love or be suspicious or mean or whatever. It's just always going to be better to be loving. Yeah, just expressing things quickly. Yeah, for sure. I like when they hit the when they're kind of on the mark, like yes. The picture says 1,000 words, and all the usual adages. It applies, man. Yeah, I totally need to support some of the emote creators, because if you find somebody that's kind of like, that gets your brand or gets what you do, they're valuable. I mean, the time it takes to make good ones, it's a little hard because you're trying to fit something that's pretty distinct in a very small area. That's when I think the animated ones are so cool, because there's more going on, because there's movement in it. You're not having to fit a static image in that tiny little space. Got more moving around. Awesome. Those are great. Oh my God, they're so gorgeous. So gorgeous. Gorgeous. What else we got going on? This is the tangent I was on. I think people, you know who goes next on the list? Lucy McComb. I'm trying to get this right. Yep. Just as it. We're not going to worry about the hell did they call it? I can't remember what the word's called. Capital versus. It's not tense. It's oh, it'll come to me. We'll put a big calm. Yeah, man. Let's do like tons of hearts. Gotta get them pretty distorted. Mix it up. Oh man. Ah, yeah, you're also in Ari's Arca-Jazz. Yeah, man, Ari's a hard worker. He gets on regularly, so I can tell he doesn't feel good all the time. So, you know, he just kind of sometimes tell he's dealing with aches and pains, headache, and kind of things like that. I was feeling like that earlier. I need to apologize to the missus for being a grouch. I apologize to the missus for being a grouch. That's what I was saying. She's like, well, just don't be a grouch. That'd be a lot easier, right? Yeah, man. Have you caught any of my crazy music? Me playing music streams? I'm all over the place with music. I love this stuff. And I probably have more history in this kind of music. Your stream. Oh, awesome. No, that's awesome. That's great. Well, I mean, I have odds up with music. The last two I think were music playing over Deltomics. Now there's, see, bam, just talking. Deltomics, that's one you want to. You know what? I don't even want to cover up our emotes yet. I want to leave them. I'm going to do some shout outs, but I'm going to leave our emotes looking all great on the screen because they're so pretty. But Del, and with a big T, Tomix, excellent stream. He has a really cool stream. He writes music on a keyboard with all kinds of synth sounds and stuff. And he'll just construct tunes, and it's great, man. It's great. Anyway, I'll stream over his stream. He'll be streaming, and I'll put his thing on. Kind of here. Let me get to this other scene. Like whenever I'm looking at, yeah. See, that's the dashboard. But I'll sometimes put YouTube on the thing, and I'll be just whatever's on, and I'll have two browsers and a stream, him going to one stream, and then OBS, and I'll just literally stream with him. Try to get the level set. He's able to watch that VOD, or I'm able to save the video content to something and send it to him. But he gets ideas from that, which is fun, and it's practice. You get to practice playing. It's good too, because it pushes you to play in places on the fretboard where you normally wouldn't, because things are in certain keys. And last night he was playing in a key that was totally not ideal for a guitar in standard tuning, but in a half tune, kind of like this stuff is down tuned a little bit. I had my one black till I tuned down a half step, just one note down. It was perfect. So I was like, dude, I'll play that guitar. So that's what I did. I think the first stream over stream was the best. Was the best ideas for me. But the tune he was playing last night was actually very cool. In this context, sweet people, I would say almost the top of that list would be Orbiter guitars. Orbiter. We'll put Big G guitars. Yep, Greg and Orbiter guitars. Super sweet. We'll go back to a big notepad. Yeah, man. But I'm gonna do shout outs for him. I've got him in Stream Elements. I got him in Stream Elements. I can put you and Crystal in there. He was Stream. All these other guys are in my Stream Elements. I'll just exclamation a couple of letters and bam, off their shout out goes. And they're the same way. They got me in theirs too. And that's cool. That's supporting. They're supporting one another. Yep. The old adage is actions speak louder than words. So yeah, having somebody in there and putting in the work that proves more the love out of principle than love as an idea. Doing something loving. Always is the better outcome. Boy, isn't that the question? What days do you usually start? Man, it's so. I love that question because I need to become more routine. I need to get a schedule. I need to actually put the schedule onto my Twitch schedule. But sometimes, I think more often it's been kind of like in the early afternoon. Some days yes, some days no. And then there's these nights, like whenever I'm doing the music thing now, a lot of times that's more like bedtime for a lot of people. Like last night he went till about 2 in the morning. In my time, I think he might be in closer to Vancouver. Probably wasn't his, probably just midnight his time. But I'm saying that, I don't know that for a fact. I know Necrocatic Games is in BC. So it's definitely Pacific time. When you can, for sure. Yeah, I'm gonna. It's absolutely a goal to be more regimented. For my day too, like what we're talking about here with trying to make healthier choices of food. When I get up and do my, I take this wheatgrass juice powder. Literally, it's wheatgrass juice powder. It's the Eric Berg formulation. It just has like a bunch of wheatgrass in it, and you just do it in water in the morning. Anyway, take that, do yoga in the morning. That's what I need to do every day. Even if it's just like the least little bit of movements that I can manage where I'm at, and it'll get better and better and better. Yeah, it's hard to have a Twitch stream, and it honestly it can be part of my full-time job. I do guitar repair for all the time, but I have a lot of people want me to get stuff done, so I need to do it more regularly. So a schedule and getting stuff done is absolutely a great idea. Honestly, that's probably the wisest saying, no matter what age you are, little at a time. It's more consistency than anything else. If you want something, keep your mind on it. Heck, if you want something, it's hard to keep your mind off of it. So, a little bit at a time makes so much difference. And you just try to get a balance of action, but an action and plan. Sometimes you don't want to just act on things, you want to plan, but I you can tell I'm a bit of a planner. I have notepads everywhere full of scribbles. And it's great to have plans. I also, it's one reason my endeavors are usually fairly successful, or at least I get good results, because I do a lot of planning. But it's the action is what sometimes it's the doing of things that teaches you more than anything how something needs to go. Because honestly, momentum is the only way you can turn. You can't ever turn. You can in sitting in one place you might be able to reorient what direction you're pointing, but you can't really get anywhere in a different direction without movement. So sometimes it's just the doing and adjust as you go. That's where I get into trouble, because I'll like to sit and plan everything out, but it's not actually movement. All the things that I've gotten accomplished, ways of doing things that I've perfected, have been out of making educated decisions on the go. It's wild. I guess it's probably one of the most fulfilling things if you're a creative person, is just the things you manage to get done. I know we can argue with progress. It's hard for people to argue with good results. They'd be like, oh man, I could do better than you. They're not, well, okay, I think that's great if you can do better than me. Go do it. And then in the doing, the person's like, wow, this is harder than I thought. Do you need help? Well, help, But yeah, there's this one model who's actually very creative and very smart. Charlotte Mull. She was dating, not Julian Lennon, Sean Lennon. Was dating Sean Lennon. I have a quote of her saying, this generation is a lot of talk and very little action. And I was like, oh my goodness, that's so true. Because there's just so much hype. I mean, I always thought of the term hype in a different sense as how they use it for sub-hype, like subscription hypes and all that. I never viewed I just viewed hype as kind of a negative term, but it's used in a different context. It's wild. Yeah. A lot of talk and very little action. And I find myself dangerously in that category. Sometimes I'm like, okay, time to make some changes. Shouldn't have to worry about that sort of thing if you're constantly working on things. What? What are your favorite? What's your main things that you're into, Luce? You're awesome. I guess that's kind of the theme of why I asked. Is like, I hope you are doing well in your endeavors. And are able to find your thing. That's the hard part. I guess kind of it is, you know. A lot of practices and knowledge and talents. I mean, I just said a lot of stuff right there. You have to find the balance. Like, what are things that you are good at? What are you things that you're interested in? What are things that actually, after a certain amount of time, are valued? I mean, there's lots. I'm sure we're all good at certain things that never really have a monetary value put on them. Even if we're a trust fund, baby, we can do those all the time if those are what make us happy. But then, for everybody else, the bills are due. So, yeah, that's tough. Finding your things is the hard part. Get too caught up in suck to hype and not doing your own thing. Yeah. The silly stream elements. I always get my little things. I put those on, and I've meant to go back and change the timing on them a little bit so they don't interject quite as much. Finding that balance in your personal values. Absolutely. At the end of the day, you have to live with yourself. You know, you've got to stay excited about who you are and what you're doing. And it's wonderful to have support. It's wonderful to have a community, but so much of it's the real work's done on your own. Doing your own thing, like you said. That's saying a lot too. Making something your own thing. And then all of a sudden the value starts to creep up. The recognition and the value, the respect. Because you make something your own thing. It can be whatever weird thing. But if you become synonymous with that thing, hard to beat, man. If it's something you love to do. I have to remind myself of these things. Doing what I do. I get worn out, frustrated, just like anybody. But a lot of times, it's just the worn out. And you're left with the feeling of frustration. Just get tired. Do you feel like looking at guitar parts? We could go look at. I got another browser open. We could go look at guitar parts. Sometimes if I can find the mouse, there it is. This one, and then I have another browser over here that's not doing a thing. It's just sitting here. Let's go see what Pretty Things Warmouth has going on. Oh. I swear the mouse is over here somewhere. Oh wow, it's locked onto that browser, but not the other. Well, let's see if I click on it. No, it's not popping up. Crazy. I may have to trade out browsers. I'll tell you what I could do. I could close out this browser, go down and hit Twitch again, and add a browser. And I'll just let the music play underneath. I'm gonna go ahead and widen that out, and then we can go look at. We can go look at pretty guitar stuff. Unpainted body sale. And I'm still in the silly corner. I haven't gone and modified my screens, so that's the size I am. What's the size I am whenever I'm doing the 2 streams? But it's more to get the music and share the music experience. But I need to make a setup better for that, whether it be split screen or. So far we're not doing it at the point of actual collabs. For one thing, musicians can't hear themselves in real time. They in streaming, gosh, unless we were. It's the thing over the internet. Even there's nothing that gives musicians a no latency music experience over the internet. You always have to wait for it to be processed, sent, and then you hear it, which you're in the middle of trying to play in time, and they're hearing you, and then they're having to wait for what you're playing to come. Yeah, it's a mess. It's gotten better than it used to be, but it's still a mess. And if I wanted to go back and look at the dashboard, I could just go here. Yeah, there's still somebody here, which is probably loose. Probably loose. Yeah. Oh, cool. So it says. I should just stay on here and read. I should stay because the chat's way bigger on the dashboard. I'm looking at put my creative things on Twitch as a space to share things, study graphic design. Yeah, man. I'm gonna lean on you. Get stuff going. Graphic design and communication, but put everything in hold and found myself into music teaching myself, and just finding myself more that way. Totally still trying to set my basically set up your stream. Worried about lag. I know, it's like how do we get around the lag? I mean, there has to be some satellite, kind of like the Starlink stuff, where they're like really close satellites, and they're always able to shift from one to the other. Let me bring this back over here. so we can keep looking at chat too. Yeah, I mean, there's got to be a way, man, with the closer satellites, so that the professional music world can get together a little bit lower latency and be able to still work. You know, you're not gonna do some live thing for the Grammys or whatever on that sort of situation, but unless everybody was able to listen to the same mix at the same time, so that it could all the different things could be timed to hit it, basically delay the main thing till everything is lined up and then play everything lined up. That way the production, they hear the right timing, and then all the musicians are hearing accurate timed reference music. And that's kind of what we have to do now. We have to rely on some drum track or scratch track as a reference, so we have a set time. It's always good if we're using the same DAW, but you don't have to, as long as it's in a certain type of data. But yeah, man, there's got to be something that gets it a little bit more, not too bad, where a talented musician can always play a little ahead or behind a beat. It doesn't really hurt too bad. They know how things they want it to sound, so they just do what they need to do. Kind of get the mastery of your instrument. I'm running my work table into that table, which the C920 is on a magnet, and so it's on a pole stuck to a magnet stuck to a pole. So it just kind of like, whoa, it wags back and forth. It's really great though. I can put it anywhere, aim it any direction. It does the little teeter-totter thing if I hit it. Yeah, it's like, woo! I know, it's like, whoa! Earthquake! I know, it's like a, whoa, what just happened? What is your main instrument, your instrument you spent the most time on? Awesome. It's cool emote too, man. Yeah, psychedelic guitar, nice. Well, I can see why you're following me. I'm pretty much going crazy with guitars. Whole life of crazy guitars. Yeah, I'm pretty well lost in the tide of guitar thought. There's no coming back now. I was glad guitar started making quite a comeback during the pandemic, for all the things that we've lost as a result. A huge percentage of our sanity, our world turned upside down, more than anything else. Watching our freedom die, pretty much. Man, it's all games. It always has been, but damn, that was a huge move in disparity and control. It's difficult. Because creative types are just trying to. We don't care if we make all the money in the world. We're not driven to. I wouldn't mind being a millionaire, but I have no desire to be. I don't care about being a millionaire. It's just like being a millionaire is it's like being just a regular successful person. You almost have to be a millionaire to just have a normal life these days. It's gotten so expensive. I turned in my first guitar a year ago, and now I have funky. Oh, okay, yeah, jackpot. It's all about the love, but we gotta look after ourselves. Yeah, normal's good. Getting by. Excellent. I guess as long as we don't have too silver spoon of taste, we can get used to different qualities of life and find a way through it all. It's cool. I'm thankful to my wife, who works a stressful day job, so that the main bills are, they're steady. That way my thing can be a little feast or famine. I'm covered up with work all the time. I gotta get it done. That's the thing. It's up to me. Let's see where we're at. Let's go back over here. I'll put that back on. Greed is up. Man, you got that straight. It's just been, and I mean, that really is the thing. I mean, there's a favorite saying of mine, which I found out is in the lyrics of some Indian songs and some Islamic songs and some. Anyway. The saying of, I thought I kind of made it up, but it was just the musician in me that was musicians are sort of a kindred spirit throughout the world. They usually don't have the political problems with one another that everyone else does, because they're more about love and creativity. But the thing I go is like, well, scriptures say God is love, and I said, well, if God is love, then love is God. Why don't we live that way? Why don't we value that highest of all? And that love is not just, of course, not just like, ooh, baby. It's love out of principle. It's like doing the right thing, but really meaning it and making a difference. Now, that's a weird balance, because you're like, oh, well, why don't you help this homeless person? It's like, because I'm not really showing them love, because this homeless person has they've made a lot of their own choices or whatever like that. Well, I love everybody, but then you're not doing something and you're certainly not doing yourself a loving favor if you start giving away your hard work and devaluing the things that you have worked hard for and that you have. But that's just one tiny little segment. But all of this stuff going on, I mean, it's like, none of these decisions, like the whole pharmaceutical industry couldn't exist in a universe where love out of principle is paramount. It's just about profit. It's like, oh gosh, if we make them sicker, we can make way more money, and we could do this, and that's like, let's not kill cancer. That's one of our number one money makers. It's like, and see, there's not any one person making it. It's all done by committee, so nobody specifically has to feel the guilt for doing those things. Oh no, it's stockholders voted on this and that, and da. Kind of move the responsibility around so much that nobody takes full responsibility for any of it. But you start doing the numbers and it's worse. The whole thing, the disparity of it, and all basically the outright murder of it's worse than the Holocaust. What they're doing is worse than the SS. It's worse. It's worse than the communists. The communist people that were killed. It's like it dwarfs everything. I mean, it makes it look like a grain of sand on an endless beach. By comparison, if you start to add up the numbers, it's just. But see, none of that's all decisions are made by committee. It's so, yeah. That's a crazy soapbox to get on, and it's pointless because you're just a crazy person yelling in the void. Yes, I mean, yeah, you're a breathing, thinking person. I know you definitely can get the sense of that. We're all experiencing it. It's just like, wow. Yeah, We're all experiencing it. It's crazy. Just blows me away. Oh, so what we need is more peppers. You can tell the peppers are still pretty much just kind of saucy, and peppers, like, I don't let them touch the pan themselves, so they don't like smoke out the house with jalapeno smoke. Oh. It's like, stuff starts choking us up. And whoever let those hit the hot pan is like, oh my gosh. Gnarly. Well, I hope you have a good day of practice and find some new melodic, chase some new melodic ideas. It's so funny too, because essentially all of my music, apart from like microtones and all that, they all fit in an octave depending on where you put it. And you can change key change, like when you have like two sections of something, but everything that's in that section just fits in a, like the eighth note in a diatonic pattern of notes is the octave. So there's like almost like between the octave, without putting sharps or flats, we just have basically 7 notes until we start to regenerate again. And there's only so many ways you can reconfigure those 7 notes to make harmonies. You know, there's a lot. That's a lot to think of in and of itself. But I always think that's interesting. You spend some time moving those 7 notes around. Yeah, it's a lot. It really is. But I mean, we look at like a whole 88 key keyboard, and it's just, they're all the same shape, but it's just like it's too many keys. Because I mean, that's based on how many digits you have and that sustain pedal. That's a lot of polyphony. You can get a lot of notes going at one time, and then trying to mute that and then start over and put them over and let them run over. It's like it starts to become almost mind-boggling. Which of course we should more follow our heart, follow melody, and follow our heart. What do we hear? Where's the note? Where are the notes pulling us? I guess that's fine. It's good to practice and sort of get our technique as good as we can, so we don't have to think too much about that. Yeah. Follow where the melody, where it pulls you. Yeah. So, yeah, I know. I can actually just take select words out of it and make absolutely get what you're saying. Yeah, just kind of follow. It's like, follow the bouncing ball. Where is that sound? You know, we'll always hear a sound singing way above chords sometimes. I always find that fascinating, how much really tense notes or dissonance always works well, as long as you separate it in a different register. You can sometimes put them the most unlikely notes, as long as you separate them an octave or so. And I think that's how great symphonies get written, because there's so much going on, but they're separated by timbre or timbre of instruments that vibrate differently. Empty space is key. Oh, I know, you have to have space. and rest, or establish a feel. Sometimes it's the things that aren't played that are probably the most important. I'll tell you, you ever play with delays very much? Like dotted eighth notes and playing like on time with the delay? It's a really cool way to practice. It's great for finding that empty space. Even though the delay is continuing on, you have to interject empty spaces in your timing, but it causes you to be on time. Otherwise, it's not going to ring out in time. It's a really great way to practice. I'm talking about practicing every type of melody that way. It's really cool. It's actually very effective. It's sort of, you become your own metronome. Yeah, delay recently. Yeah, I need to try it. Like, plug it in and get it going with a little bit of feedback, a little a little bit of, you can hear the delay carry out for a little while, and just start to just tap your strings, or play one note, staccato or palm mute, come, and listen based on the timing, how many rhythms you can get where you follow, and then you can make one rhythm fall between the notes of one, and then as the one that you played in between, you start to play the original one and follow the notes in between that one. There's a bunch of subdivided rhythms that you can do. It's really good practice, all I'm saying. It's really good practice. And it's kind of addictive. Be careful. You won't want to stop doing it. You'll want to keep doing it. And sometimes it can become your style. I've played just the guitar away from effects for so long. I love them. I love playing with them. But yeah, I got to where I was just addicted to delay stuff. I've become kind of like a hard rock edge type. The way my stuff was writing was starting to sound like heavy metal U2. I just love delay so much. I got really good at it. And you can find it pretty cool sounding. Like Diddy or composition on my Instagram. Just at Big John's, like all lowercase. That's the time I knew it would come around. All lowercase, just Big John's, JOHN, guitars, S on the end, but all lowercase, at Big John's Guitars. You'll find me on Instagram. But I have a delay thing in there you'll find interesting. It's kind of a piece of music like that. Yeah, it is like having a band, because you are accompanying yourself, and you definitely set up a timing and a feel. And it doesn't have to be 1, 2, 3. I mean, it kind of got it can have a great deal of syncopation, but whatever you did is going to come back at an even amount. Whatever you get off is going to come back also. But that's the practice of it. Yeah, it trains you around a lot of those foibles. Sometimes you can make accidents into like a new timing too. Kind of cool. Oh yeah, GTA. It's pretty cool. That's not it's not the like most swimmy or saturated delay tones ever in there, and choruses are a little bit kind of mid-tone and all that, but it's handy because you don't have to put a power supply to every one of those sounds in there. You can just start to stack. You can start to stack stuff and get your wet dry mix the way you want it, and just get on with playing. Handy. I have a Helix, and the Helix, I'm talking about not playing with effects as much as I used to. I've had it since 2016. It's probably been on about 5 times. I mean, one of the most powerful processors Yeah, definitely at that time, other than the Axe Effects stuff, and I mean the updates on it. The updates on the Helix are outrageous. There's so much. Hey man, there's Necro right there. Lord back. We're just being crazy, eating and talking, having fun, listening to music. Yeah, man. Hey, happy to have you. Email Sanchez. Email Sanchez. I love that emote. It's so cool. This is the best emote I've ever seen. It's just always so fire. It's ridiculous. It's freaking cool. What kind of guitar are you working on? Oh, Don Sound. Yeah, never know. If I do work on a guitar, what will it be? I'm not sure. I got done with this. Remember, I was saying last night, I don't know if I did say it on the stream, but I was setting up a custom shop relic, relic Tele. Basically just getting the inside shielded. I need to test the pickups and everything, the wiring, so the guy can come and get his two guitars every time it drops. Yeah, man. I need to get my food out of here. It's been good, but I need to be done now. Almost there. Yeah, man. Good to have you. Thanks for coming by and saying hi. I'll be here. I'll keep fiddling around with stuff. Get shit done. A good pen to have around for me. Get shit done. That's so funny. Yeah, man. This has been a pretty cool mix, because it's not one of those things that wants to put you to sleep like some of the lo-fi mixes and some of the ambient stuff, which I love that too, but especially if I'm trying to concentrate. But this is just sort of kind of got a gnarly beat in the background. I'm gonna get this out of the way. Just set it up here. Good, man. Also on that list that's his other channel. That's Necro. Mustard Network. Mustard Network is their streaming network of all them together. Like Zephman's on there. There's a few of the gamers that are on Mustard Network, but that's the other channel. So it definitely falls on this list as big time as would be Mustard Network. But yeah, and Necro plays guitar and bass. A lot of times he just grab it and play it on stream, but he always plays that background, and his sound alerts will be him playing bass and just crazy stuff. So it's just, I'm making him a Mustard Network bass actually. It's like custom graphics. That'll be fun to. That'll be a fun thing to do on stream. Here and there, at least updates anyway. Man, now the stream alerts are like doubling up. They're ganging up on us now. This is over here. Let's see how this sounds. Let me go up and find. I know under here somewhere. Oh, that's right. I closed out that window. No, it's under here. There it is. I'm gonna mute them. What's up with the guitar you're working on? I did shielding on it, like I need to post pictures. I need to post pictures, but let me grab our communicator and I'll just show you pictures of it that I took while I was going. Let me find them. Yeah, like shielded the where are we at? Get in the middle here. The cavity with copper and yeah, shielded those. And there was another one. I was doing his Strat as well. That's my wife's new car. Let's go to the beginning of the Strat. That's it, with no shielding in the cavities, which is kind of open to all the static and RF noise and just buzz and the, you know, you'll get around your monitors and our phone and stuff. You know how much it makes. A lot of it's the magnetic field of the pickups picking up the chaos and stuff that's coming, the clocking, the digital clocking that's coming off of our phone and these cameras and stuff. But the hum and all that, just the buzz, like when you let go, that's RF noise and just racket getting into your electronics. Anyway, shielding that stuff like that, all that has to be grounded and it all has to touch, but underneath and yeah, even around the jack. I guess it's focusing on me over here because of all this. I've got all this contrast to these stripes, so it wants to focus over here. If I get it close enough, maybe it'll. Yeah, there it goes. It's trying, but it's like, what are you trying to show me? It doesn't really know what it wants to see. But yeah, I redid the wiring in it, where it gets every combination of stuff. Copper silly. Yeah, man. But that was this guitar. It didn't have anything, of course. I forgot to take a picture of the under here and inside. Same deal, just lined with copper. Yeah. But that makes a big difference because that covers over where that line goes over there to get to the rest of the electronics over here. Yeah, when that flipped over, it covers it from the top, and the channels inside are done. Yeah, as long as that's all closed. What your Strat? It's actually a K-line. I'm not sure what year, but he's had it for a while, and he's literally has the logo scratched off the headstock. But it's like a boutique, kind of like a custom builder. Similar, like to K-line is similar to like sort of. Well, nicer than Nash, because it's a lot more accurately built than Nash. Nash guitars, which are really fairly high dollar relic guitars, they don't play very good, whereas the K-lines actually play pretty good. Let's cord and plug this bad boy in. I was playing Queen last night, so 7.25 radius, so it's pretty. Yeah, man. The reference pitch. Keep a silly little. Yeah, definitely just come up a little bit. Need to do the intonation on this one still. I was filing that open first string was like just really rosy and buzzy. I got that sort of leveled out last night. Try it, but tuning, I use them the pitch things as a kid though. Funny. Yeah. Wrong direction. I'm always vacillating between minor and majors. I often like it. I like that sharp 4 that's in Lydian. Just a tritone. But frame major 3rd at a 9, which are pretty. Like it by itself, it's just like, you just have the ugliness of it, but around the others. Chord will get easier because I'm probably going to lower that second string a little bit at the nut. Sharp 4 again. Yeah, kind of like, just, I don't even think about it. That pick constantly goes back and forth for finger style. Like, I put it far enough in the knuckles where I still can move these. I can't really open this or I'll drop it, but it's always. Some people have gotten really proficient at doing that, but then you kind of lose that digit. So I've just always put it, between, always gone between those fingers right there. just happens. But some people just hybrid pick. They'll keep the pick here, and they'll get really good with these 3 fingers. That's how Greg Koch is. He's just super good with these. He's just an assassin with these 3 fingers. I don't know how he got so good. Just practice. Like even the hard Danny Gatton stuff, he can do that with these 3 fingers. Ah man, I can't do that. Blues fingers, so yeah man, it's just so. You're able to hit all the strings at the same time, which is so like. Then you have the flesh of your fingers. You have the snap of chicken picket. Just gives you a lot of dynamics. I just love his voicing. I like this one up here. What's other things you can do? It's a whole mixture of like, that's what I say with those. Heck, even if you were thinking of octave to octave, you've basically only got 11 or 12 usable notes. You have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then there's that 12. But between those, I mean, you're never going to use them all at the same time. When that just sounds like an absolute chaos. I mean, what happens if we do that? Like, you just end up with just an absolute. Like that's what that's just four. That's 4 notes in a line. I mean, it's kind of cool in a way. Let's see if I can get one that's not in that. That one's redundant. I think that one's. See, that B is already open. Where's another one I can play that's not in that? Yeah, because A isn't in that arranged. So what am I looking for? Like maybe is C there? If I could get a C, I don't know where I can't reach the C. Let me see if I can. Oh, I managed to get like 6 notes that are all not the same. It just sounds like chaos. But you know, that's a funny challenge. Forcing yourself to do something that's like, well, I've never done that before. Let's see if we can do it. totally can do fingers. But then there's that, I can never get that wah scratch with my fingers. I guess the round part of the nail is pretty good. Yeah, it's not too hard and it doesn't hurt. But boy, with the pick. Mostly like mixolydian. Mixolydians, you know, it's just the what is it? Starting if you started at the 5th note of a major scale, and you just played that as your root. But in this case, like I'm playing E. It's like at that minor 7. So you'll end up with that major 3rd, and then that minor 7. It's that rock and roll minor 7 instead of a major 7. It just sounds so cool. It's just always so good. It plays enough of like the happy. Most rock and roll, I think, like blues rock and all that, really emphasizes mixolydian or Dorian. Like if it gets minor sounding, it has more of a Dorian sound to it. Like a regular 6, minor 3rd, minor, major 6. Because like this is like this is Dorian. We'll see what would be. That's your minor 3rd right there. There's that. That's a minor 3rd, and then a major 6 instead of a minor 6. But the 2 against them creates that sound. But and then you can fall down to like regular Aeolian of that same key and be like go to the 6th. What would it be like? Let's see. It's like yeah. There's the minor 6 instead of that Dorian 6. So that's got that really. Yeah, that's more of a harmonic minor thing because it's just south of the root. Well, always sounds good in blues, man. more could you go? Well, I'm losing my chords. Just north of the root. Back to it. That Dorian, man, like a lot of your blues, it's just going to end up falling down to that major 6. It just has that sound with all that stuff. Even if I'm playing all pentatonic. It just has more attitude. You can hear that harmonic minor in there. I've never played that chord in my life, but that sounds awesome. Playing the Dorian note as the bass note. Oh, and I could double at the bottom. I've never played that chord in my life. Sounds like you just end up finding things like barring straight across there, and then playing that note and the and in any other context, it sounds ridiculous. It's so funny because I'm most of that stuff's just in the box. Like that as the root goes back to that Lydian sound. But that as the root, of course, is Dorian. And if that means if Lydian there, that means mixed Lydians there. It never fails. That's so funny. It's just so funny. It's hard for us to see those things as patterns at times, but it's like, music teachers try to teach them to us as rules, and we're just like, I just don't understand it. Why you got all this specific stuff? It's like, well, it just keeps reoccurring. It's just octaves. It's just music. But you'll get comfortable if you keep using it, and that's one of those things. You just keep on trying to strengthen the muscle of being able to do that. And I end up playing a chord I've never played in my life as based on that, which does apply. It's so funny. Yeah, man. Oh yeah, let's put some dirt on this. My other guitar's in the way, but I can find it. I don't have it up very loud, but it's got some dirt. Yeah, man. Once you get the shielding go, you can let go. I mean, that's a real single coil. Tiny bit more, but I mean, I've got screens. I have the screen there, and I have the monitor over here. Over here. Yeah, man, it's really cool. notes in between. Yeah, man. Got the usual really dark tone cap, it just kills everything. But it works good using it like slight adjustments. I noticed that the cover on this Tele pickup was just kind of rattling around. But he doesn't play loud distortion, so I don't think he's going to have that too much trouble with it. It's crazy. As far as I know, it is soldered on the bottom, so it's, you know, making contact, but it's funny. Trying to sweep across them, but can't get it to work. About that door, and man, a major 6 over a minor key, it's just like so cool sounding. I gotta go, yeah, man, absolutely. Gotta get on with your rest of your Sunday. And yeah, man, I'm gonna go ahead and go visit somebody else's stream with our little raid out, and don't need to stay on here forever. And whether you're here, that's fine. You can head out. But let's. It's one of. Let me hit this one and see if I. Yeah, there we go. Twitch is hiding in the stream with that other one. I wonder who's on. If I just hit the button, Emily Vickers on. Wow, Greg is still. Orbiter Guitars is still on. Let's set that up. Let's set that up and go see him real quick, and then you can get on with your day. I'll just get it going. All right, let's go ahead and start it. Takes it a second. Yeah. 7, 6. Yeah, just for a second. Won't take us but a minute. He'll be like, "Hey man, what's up?" All right, we're good to go. Thank you, and I'll see you soon. Alright, let's go say hi. Okay, got it. Say hi on there. Excellent. Anyway, we went and did that. I'm gonna stop the stream.